Chapter 9. The Rich Also Cry. Success without successor is a successful failure. In the message by George Carlin, a comedian of the 70s and 80s, one will see how what he wrote decades ago is so real in today's world. He wrote, "The paradox of our time and history is that we have taller buildings but shorter tempers, wider freeways but narrower viewpoints. We spend more, but have less. We buy more, but enjoy less. We have bigger houses and smaller families, more conveniences, but less time. We have more degrees, but less sense, more knowledge, but less judgment, more experts, yet more problems, more medicine, but less wellness. We drink too much, smoke too much, spend too recklessly, laugh too little, drive too fast, get too angry, stay up too late, get up too tired, read too little, watch TV too much, and pray too seldom. We have multiplied our possessions but reduced our values. We talk too much, love too seldom, and hate too often. We've learned how to make a living, but not a life. We've added years to life, not life to years. We've been all the way to the moon and back, but have trouble crossing the street to meet a new neighbor. We conquered outer space, but not inner space. We've done larger things, but not better things. We've cleaned up the air, but polluted the soul. We've conquered the atom, but not our prejudice. We write more, but learn less. We plan more, but accomplish less. We've learned to rush, but not to wait. We build more computers to hold more information to produce more copies than ever, but we communicate less and less. These are the days of fast foods and low digestion, big men and small character, steep profits and shallow relationships. These are the days of two incomes but more divorce, fancier houses but broken homes. These are days of quick trips, disposable diapers, throwaway morality, one-night stands, overweight bodies, and pills that do everything from cheer to quiet to kill. It is a time when there is much in the show window and nothing in the stockroom. Remember to spend some time with your loved ones, because they are not going to be around forever. Remember to say a kind word to someone who looks up to you in awe, because that little person soon will grow up and leave your side. Remember to give a warm hug to the one next to you, because that is the only treasure you can give with your heart, and it doesn't cost a cent. Remember to say "I love you" to your partner and your loved ones, but most of all, mean it. A kiss and an embrace will mend hurt when it comes from deep inside of you. Remember to hold hands and cherish the moment, for someday that person will not be there again. Give time to love. Give time to speak. Give time to share the precious thoughts in your mind. And always remember, life is not measured by the number of breaths we take, but by the moments that take our breath away. It is really a paradox of our time, just like the title of this chapter, "The Rich Also Cry." When pressing to be rich and wealthy, people don't stop to think of the challenges that come with being wealthy. Being wealthy comes with its own challenges and responsibilities, and many who have not realized this before becoming rich or wealthy end up with surprises, and some may even lose their riches and wealth. There is nobody without problems, whether you are rich or poor. We all have problems, because the problems are opportunities in disguise and stepping stones to the next level. There is only one place where people don't have problems, and that is in the grave, because a dead man is free from life's problems and only has to deal with afterlife issues. Money problems of the rich and the poor. There are some money problems that both the rich and the poor face in life, and we will be looking into them at this stage, beginning with the money problem of the poor, which are quite obvious. Poor. Number 1, not having enough money. This is no doubt a general problem for any poor person, or else they would not be said to be poor. The poor has to always battle with lack of adequate funds to do what needs to be done, and it can be very frustrating for anyone to be in a situation where they have needs they cannot meet and obligations or responsibilities they cannot handle, especially when you have a family to take care of. No one should ever have money problem of this nature for too long, if at all. Number 2. Using credit cards to cover shortages. The second major problem of the poor is debt, and as they step out of the first problem due to not having enough cash, most poor people end up using credit cards and borrowing to ease their financial shortcomings. This is a problem one should not have to face because debt is bondage. Number 3. The rising cost of living. This is another problem of the poor, because from time to time they realize that the little money at their disposal is becoming less and less powerful in the market due to inflation and rising cost of living. They go and plan towards buying something, and when they are ready, the price has changed, and cost of living continues to rise even though their income doesn't. Number 4. The more they make, the more taxes they pay. Earned income is the most taxed income anywhere in the world, and that is where the poor people play. They make money from earning salaries as opposed to passive or portfolio income that comes from business, investment, and stocks, which is where the rich play. The poor make money and are taxed before spending the rest, while the rich make money, spend it, and are taxed on the rest. Number 5. Fear of emergency. The poor are constantly living in fear because they have no saving or spare cash to fall back on in case of any emergency when they face emergency or unexpected expenses. They end up borrowing or facing shame. Being in a constant state of fear and uncertainty is a torment and not good for anyone. Number 6. Bad financial advice. Poor people also have a problem of bad financial advice because they cannot afford to have good advisors on board their team. So they mostly settle for advice from other poor people who don't know better. This limits the kind of financial advice they can get and invariably limit how far they can go financially. Number 7. Not enough retirement money. One of the greatest problems of the poor is the fact that they don't have security, especially for their future and life after retirement. They have the illusion of pension and then retire at old age only to discover that the money from their pension is grossly inadequate to cover for their living expenses, and they may have to keep working even after retirement to make ends meet. Poverty is bad, and poor people's problem is equally bad. Like the chapter title states, the rich also cry. So rich people too have their own money problems. The rich, number 1, having too much money. Too much of everything is said to be bad, but does that include money? And then when it comes to money, how much is too much? These are questions you have to answer for yourself. The more money or too much money you have, the more problems you have of how to spend it, what to spend it on, and how to stay safe without allowing money take over you and change you. Number 2. The need to keep their money safe and invested. Banks and vault rooms are heavily guarded and secured because of the valuables, and rich people are like money machines and stores that need safety and security. One problem rich people have to contend with is how to keep their money safe, secure, and out of reach for predators of all kinds. And they also have to worry about how to keep their money invested to be safe and growing. Number 3. Not knowing if people love them or their money. Success has many fathers, but failure is an orphan. If you have money, people will surely gravitate towards you, and one problem you will face is how to know who loves you for who you are or for what you have. That is why some rich people don't really have many friends because they're scared of this problem, and majority stay glued to the friends they have had before or settle for political or diplomatic shallow associations. Number 4. Need for smarter financial advisor. Getting someone to advise you when you are poor is not a difficult thing because there are a lot of people with basic financial intelligence that the poor can learn from. However, the higher you go in the world of riches and wealth, the more difficult it is to get smarter advisors because you must have been pretty financially smart yourself to be rich and wealthy, and advisors that are on higher financial IQ are fewer, which is a problem for the rich. Number 5. Raising spoiled kids. Hardly will you go through a list of rich people without seeing the same pattern of spoiled kids. And this is a major problem for the rich. Most rich people are very busy with tight schedules and limited time, and this makes them spend little or no time with their kids, which is a great error on their part. They try to silence their conscience by spoiling the kids with money, gifts, toys, holidays, etc., and by indulging them. They grow up spoiled and become a headache. Family first is a law of life for anyone who wants to enjoy lasting peace. Number 6. Estate and inheritance planning. When poor people die, there is worry about burial expenses, but when rich people die, there is worry about inheritance, estate planning, and succession. This is a major problem of the rich, so they have to think long-term and plan ahead on who succeeds them, who gets what, and how their empire will be run and sustained after they are dead and gone. As they hear and read of other wealthy people dying and their empire crumbling after their death, or family feuds and court battles among kids, it worries them, and this is a problem. 7. Excessive government tax. Capital gain tax is not something poor people worry about, but it is something the rich face consistently, and they have to pay huge fees for tax attorneys and consultants to help them manage their tax issues and help them get leverage. If it is not capital gain tax, it will be multiple taxation due to multiple income streams and multiple regional operations. Taxes are parts of the problem of the rich because it is huge. There is no doubt that the rich also cry. Let us examine the stories of some rich people for sober reflection. In 1923, a group of the world's most wealthy financiers met at the Edgewater Beach Hotel in Chicago, USA. Collectively, these tycoons controlled more wealth than was contained in the entire United States Treasury at that time. These wealthy men represented the faces of power and success in the financial world. Let us examine history to see what happened to them over the next 27 years. 1. Charles Schwab, the president of the largest independent steel company, lived on borrowed money the last 5 years of his life and died a pauper. 2. Insull Samuel, president of America's greatest utility company, died penniless in a foreign land as a fugitive of justice. 3. Jesse Livermore, the greatest bear on Wall Street, committed suicide. 4. Leon Fraser, the president of the Bank of International Settlement, committed suicide. 5. Ivar Fraser, the head of the world's greatest monopoly, committed suicide. 6. Arthur Cutten, the greatest wheat speculator, died abroad insolvent. 7. Richard Whitney, the president of the New York Stock Exchange, was released from Alcatraz to go home and die. 8. Howard Hopson, the president of the largest gas company, went totally insane. Michael Jackson's life story is another classic example that calls for sober reflection, and of recent 2012, Whitney Houston, because truly the rich also cry. Since we are looking at the rich versus the poor, let us end this chapter by looking at the differences between the millionaires and the middle class, the rich and the poor. The rich versus the poor. Time and space constraint will not allow me expatiate more on these, but there are differences among them all. Let us look at 10 differences among the upper, middle, and lower class. 1. The rich ask themselves empowering questions, while the others ask themselves disempowering questions. The question you ask determines the answer you get, and it also determines what part of you is triggered. If you think or believe you can, or if you think or believe you cannot, you are right, because it is what you think or believe that matters. A. How do you expect me to pay for that or be able to afford that? B. How can I pay for and afford that? These are two similar but different questions. A is a disempowering question that closes the door of creativity and innovation, while B is an empowering question that opens the door of possibilities. 2. The rich focus on increasing their net worth, while the others focus on increasing their paycheck. The salary mentality is a toxic mentality, as we have examined earlier in this book, and it is a mindset that has to be eradicated for anyone to become rich and wealthy. While the rich focus on how to increase their net worth through investments, the others are more concerned about increasing their salary, so they stay trapped in the rat race and limit their possibilities. 3. The rich have multiple streams of income, while others have just one or two streams. Multiple streams of income is the secret to unimaginable wealth that cannot run dry, just like the ocean. We will be dealing with this in the next module. I believe every individual has the ability and potential for at least 4 streams of income, and that is one thing that characterizes the rich. They have multiple streams, while the others have only one and at most 2. Not good enough. 4. The rich understand and believe they must be generous, while the others believe they cannot afford to be generous. Givers never lack is not a slogan, but a reality of life, because sowing and reaping is a universal law of life. True significance comes when you give back and affect your world positively. While the others strive for survival and success and believe they cannot afford to be generous, the rich strive for significance and give back with a generous lifestyle. What is the use of money if not to fulfill purpose? Generosity increases you and not reduces you. 5. The rich work for profit, while others work for wages. Rich people focus on becoming entrepreneurs and running profitable businesses that create jobs, offer products or services, and profit from them, while others focus more on getting jobs and earning wages. JOB has been agreed in the world of financial education to stand for just over broke, which means those who rely on jobs and wages live on the boundary of poverty, lack, and hardship, or just survival. 6. While the rich continue to grow, others think learning ended in school. The day you stop learning, you start dying, because life is a school of continual learning without graduation. While the rich know this and invest in personal development, capacity building, and continual education, others think learning stopped in school after they get a certificate. What else do I need to learn after I've learned in school for years? Well, life will teach you a hard lesson if you fail to learn. And if you think knowledge is expensive, try ignorance, but it will cost you more. 7. The rich take calculated risks, while others are afraid to take risk. In life, risk is a very vital part of succeeding, because the greater your risk, the greater your possibility. And what is mostly termed risky is a risk key. Risk is a key to great possibilities if you know how to use it. We all take risks on a daily basis, both consciously and unconsciously, both stupid and sensible. Taking informed and calculated risk is a part of the rich man's culture, while others run from risks and risk their dream staying unfulfilled and ending up with a nightmare. 8. The rich embrace change, while the others are threatened by change. We all know that change is the only constant thing in life, and wise people embrace and not fight change, because change is like a wave or a current. You either align with it or be swept away by it. Rich people embrace change and maximize the opportunities that come with it, while others fight change and lose out. If you don't change with change, change will change you. 9. Rich people talk about ideas, while others talk about things and people. What dominates your discussions, ideas, things, or people? While the rich talk about ideas, prospects, opportunities, impact, etc., others focus on gist, gossips, things, people, etc. What you focus on determines what you produce or become. Why waste your time chatting and gossiping about things and other people's life when you should be focused and concerned about your own life and making impact? 10. Rich people think long-term, while others think short-term. I see this difference almost on a weekly basis. While rich people think long-term, invest for the future, and delay gratification, average people think short-term, instant gratification, and survival. Wealth creation suggests that it is something you create, and creating things takes time and planning, which is why rich people are rich, because they think and plan long term. Many vital facts and information have been discussed and released in this book, School, so far, and I strongly hope you make the most of them. Let us progress to the final chapter in this module.